Eddie Obeid sentence hearing. He has limited life expectancy. Disgraced former Labour Minister Eddie Obeid has as little as 3 years to live, and jail should not rob him of precious time with his family, his barrister told the Supreme Court. The notorious 73-year-old millionaire ex-politician was described as a champion of the unprivileged who could expect to live only until he was 76.6 years or 77.7 years. Obeid was found guilty in June of misconduct in a public office while a member of the NSW upper house in 2006. Despite his years of skullduggery, the former power broker was able to rely on 55 character references attesting to his honesty, integrity and good deeds, including one from former Rapidos rugby league player, coach and administrator George Piggins. "I have always found him to be good-humored, genuine, and a very willing helper, and as having a real desire to help the club, its supporters and the people of the South Sydney district," Mr. Piggins said in a reference tendered to the court. Mr. Piggins said of Obeid that he had never had an occasion to doubt his honesty. Other references came from members of the Lebanese community as his legal team urged the court not to jail Obeid. The former MP was charged over his lobbying of a senior public servant about lucrative circular quay leases without revealing his family's stake in the outlets. His family had leases for Café Sorrentino and Quay Eatery. "The time he has left on this planet, not to be too dramatic about it, is shortened," his counsel Brad Hughes, South Carolina, said, urging a suspended sentence or home detention. "Any time taken out away from his family is more precious because it is limited." Mr. Hughes said Justice Robert Beach Jones should take into account Obeid's public work. "You are dealing with a man who has 20 years of service in Parliament, and that should not be discounted." But Crown Prosecutor Peter Neal, South Carolina, said Obeid was far from death's door. "We wish him well," Mr. Neal said, acknowledging Obeid had a constellation of medical issues including diabetes and a recent stroke. But the courts have repeatedly stated that ill health cannot be allowed to become a license to commit crime. Nor should offenders expect to escape punishment because of their health. Mr. Neal said the only appropriate penalty was jail. "The public are entitled to accountability and transparency from those holding public office, especially elected politicians, and the avoidance of conflicts of interest. There is no maximum penalty in NSW for misconduct in a public office," and Mr. Neal referred to former State Prisons Minister Rex Jackson, who was jailed for 10 years with a non-parole period of 5 years for accepting bribes. Justice Beach Jones continued Obeid's bail and will sentence him on December 15. In other news, Gladys, $500 million blowout is my fault. Take a look at an animation of what Sydney's light rail line will look like on Devonshire Street, Surrey Hills. Courtesy Transport NSW.